In the desert southwest of America, and there's a wonderful canyon landscape right behind us. It's really stark and desolate. We found a great mud fossil find out here. We want to share it with you. I know a lot of people who don't have the eyes to see will totally discount this, but for those of you that have looked into the truth about mud fossils, this will be entertaining. So apparently this rock is not even stuck to the cliff face. Right? It's got moss growing on it and crazy appendages, and checked it out a little bit more in detail, and I'm thinking it's definitely a turtle. Maybe leatherback sea turtle, I don't know. You can kind of see some of the back. It's a little bit more preserved. It's definitely hollow. You can even see a face on what would be the head, the vertebrae sticking out of the shell. So let's see here. This would be the eye. We got some crazy horn thing, prehistoric dragon turtle apparently. This is the mandible, the jaw, lower jaw. It looks like it had, honestly, fangs. It looks like what a rattlesnake mouth looks like, how it opens and everything. So who knows, these things were probably pretty vicious. And you know, just inspecting it further, you've got things like this. You can see that tissue, that tendon still connected. Absolutely amazing. This is just, it's pretty much silica. It's sand. It's like quartz. Crumbles apart really easily, sparkles in the sun. It's pretty much just held into shape here how it died. And no one would be the wiser for what lies here, but we've had some experience with our own finds and research that let us see this for what it was. I mean, you can see it's not even attached. It's like it laid down here. I'm thinking it was electrocuted because this is a huge Lichtenburg scar in the land out here. It's all one solid homogeneous piece of rock, and it was purported to have been an inland sea. So maybe this was the sand, maybe it was a cliff face, but there's obviously aquatic life, and this thing got here somehow, right? So here's what we see beyond is, oh, right above it, I'm calling this, I don't know, a dragon head, perhaps. Let's see, let's follow its the neck down. This thing is huge, guys. I'd say it's probably got good 30-foot wingspan. So that's the head. All these little balls are just like fused together minerals, probably just from boiling, but you can see this spine comes down with ribs that come off every so often. See this? You can see the vertebrae in it, the ribs coming off, and we get to an area right here where you can still see the skin. Yep, you can still see the skin on the back of this thing. So this stood out. I didn't know if I was going to film it or not because it's really hard to pick up. It's a little crazy, but as you can see, we get to the end of the spine here. Here's how recent it is and how just on top of the earth it is. You can see the vertebrae. Look at that. Just let's go with the proportions here, right? So just the size of the different column structure, the vertebrae, everything's good. The wingspan lines up because let's follow these ribs. Let's follow these ribs out. These turn into giant wings with feathers. All right, guys, let me get the wide focus on. Okay, so here we go. We've got sea turtle over here, right? This was this thing's meal, this weird rock. That's its head, so it was obviously about to enjoy the dragon sea turtle that it had caught when, who knows, plasma catastrophe or whatever happened strikes, and this wing goes up to a tip. It goes up to a point where it is literally just holding on to this cliff face. There are just these bones that stick out all around. You can see, chip some of it off stepping up here, but it all has that desert patina, and it hasn't been here that long. It goes up to a tip, you can see right here, where it was just kind of grabbing onto the side of this cliff. Let's see, you can see in the under part of the wing here, there's still the same bony structures. There's the just fine protrusions from biology, and there's even feathers, you guys. Or, I mean, it looks like my rooster's feathers, honestly. Just kind of long, and probably helped it with flight. Definitely looks like it was a reptile, but this is picking it up pretty well here. This is just on plain sandstone. See that feather-like pattern? This would be coming down from the wing right here. So I believe what we have here is a plumed serpent. You can see all of the ribs proportionate to what this animal would have been. That spine just really stood out on this rock. And again, if I wouldn't have been able to think about the past as we've been able to research, we would have never seen this for what it was. Let me show you. You can even still see the pattern of the skin on the sea turtle as well. So this looks like it was some kind of thick hide, reptile-like. Plumed serpent comes to mind. Here's some of the sea turtle skin. And again, this is just a pattern in the rock that crumbles off so easily. You can see the skin's been crusted off here. There's still a little bit hanging on right there. And you can just see the pattern of reptile skin, probably from the sea turtle, which looks really scary. Honestly, the world that we were living in was probably very vicious. I mean, this is an epic scene to see frozen in time. I mean, look at that face. The eye, and maybe a horn or something, unless its brain's squished out like that, but it does. It even has like a little nose. Imagine that thing just nudging up on you and biting you with these crazy looking viper fangs. That is one mean turtle. But as you can hear, there's really just pretty empty, pretty hollow sounding. Definitely the same up here with this. This is just a really smashed head, but you can still see some where there would be teeth. Look at that. Right? Does that not look like the shape of tooth? And who knows, man? Look, this even looks like something else. You can see how these bones connect, and it all just looks like rock now. You wouldn't even be able to pick it out, but this is what the rock looks like normally, just clear, clear rock face. And then you see this thing scattered on the side of this mountain here. And it is something. I mean, look at that. That's just huge and absolutely wild. Had to share this. Hopefully everyone can make out the detail wanted to share. We've got more destruction. I mean, look at the moss growing on this. This is in the middle of the desert. Oh well. We'll show you guys more of this so-called plasma destruction that's in our backyard. I'm not quite sure, but I'm fairly certain it was really in the recent past, because this stuff erodes really quickly. It looks really old already, but it's the same composition as the rock around it. So whatever happened literally just transmuted the elements in this biological animal to just the crystalline minerals that were in it. It's very destructive. That's why not a lot of these things survive. Hope you guys can see it. And looking forward to sharing more with you in the future.